Have you tried it for real, what your engine out procedure is? You're at cruise altitude and you fail the engine and you do best glide and see if you can make the runway? Stick with us on FlyWire, we're going to check that out today. Hey, I'm Scott Purdue, and today on FlyWire what we're going to do is we're going to do the number 2 of the Engine Out series, and we're actually going to see if this works. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do the ForeFlight glide ring and see if it works. It's set up for the Bonanza. It says 10.2 to 1, and when we hit the green, inside the green arc, which is showing about 9 miles right now for Mineral Wells, we're going to just pull the power to idle, and we're going to see if we can make it. Not going to do anything fancy like pulling the prop or anything like that. We're just going to do what heat of the moment we're going to have it, and we're going to see what happens. So stick with us here and we'll see what we do.
Mineral Wells traffic, Saratoga 215 Mike Alpha holding short 13 for landing traffic, Mineral Wells.
Sounds a little busy there, so we may not be able to make it.
Mineral Wells Airport. Automated weather observation 1658 Zulu. Wind 130 at 11.
Lunchtime.
Speed gusts 15. Visibility 10. Sky conditions
So we got about
clear.
9 minutes to go. We're 24 miles out.
2.09er Celsius.
Let's see what
Altimeter 30.
how this works.
Remarks.
A little bit of a headwind.
1,000.
Winds are 19 knots over there. That's cutting us back just a couple of knots. It's not a big deal. So it's making the ForeFlight ring a little squashed in front. Not quite elongated in back. Commensurately, because it takes a while to turn 180 degrees. And you lose a lot of altitude doing that. So it's always going to be squashed like an egg in the back at your tail. Alright, 22 miles. Already listened to the weather, and it's 120. The winds kind of light. And 120 is good because 13 is one of the runways. It's the runway people mostly like to use there. They like to shoot approaches to 31, but land on 13. Go figure. 18 miles, still showing about 9 miles on the glide ring.
We're turning left crosswind. Mineral Wells.
Just to fudge it a little bit, I'm not going to do it exactly when it hits the glide ring. I'm going to wait. What do you think? Mile? We'll do a mile. We'll do it at, it looks like 8 miles and see how it goes, just so we can get a little margin. We're kind of a opposite end of a 45 right now, but we've pretty good setup for a base, left base, right to the 13. So we shall see what happens. Alright, so the technique I'm going to use is I'm not going to zoom climb. I don't think that gets you much. You're increasing your drag, you might get 100, 200 feet. What's that going to buy you? A couple of seconds, but you're spending a lot of mental energy doing that. So that ain't my plan. I'm going to just continue to look for a field and slow down level flight, and right now my field is that airport. So that's the decision I'm going to make.
Mineral Wells traffic.
There's actually a lot of fields around here that I could use.
Downwind.
Strategy for cruise on me is anything in a cone around the wingtips I can make. If it's in the wingtip, I can make it. If it's beyond the wingtip, I can't make it, and kind of do that to the nose as well. So the wingtip, as it goes out this way, the airport is actually getting pretty close to my cone that I like to visualize, and it's pretty close to what ForeFlight says I can do. 11 miles. Alright, we're inside the green ring right now. It's 8.8 miles.
Downwind high, descending for touch and go, runway 13 at Mineral Wells.
Okay, I'm going to pull the power to idle. We're going to hold our altitude, get closer. There's 110. I'm going to trim it for 110. We're still pointed at the runway.
Center West traffic, White Bonanza is 5 miles northeast, doing a practice engine out approach to 13 for straight to the lift base for 13, Mineral Wells.
Mineral Wells traffic, Geronimo 54 Papa's turning final for 13, touch and go at Mineral Wells.
Yeah, okay, that's the difference. It's 1,500 feet per minute, and I'd pull the prop back, and we were doing it 1,000 feet per minute. So it ain't working. I don't think this is going to work. I think we're going to be short. Looking at it, it's hard to maintain 110. Yeah, man, that's a huge impact. I mean, it's a perfect setup. So without pulling that prop back, it ain't gonna work. We're gonna be short. 3 miles right now. Okay, let's transition to bend sync, see if that helps us out any. I doubt it. Our bend sync target of 81. Emergency approach speed. Okay, it's getting us a little bit of distance, but it's not going to get us all the way there. Alright, I'm going to knock it off.
So what are the lessons learned from this exercise? I think there's a lot of things that we can draw from it, but there's 3 that I want to concentrate in particular on in this particular video. One is that I'm actually surprised how accurate the ForeFlight glide ring is. I'm always a little bit suspicious of stuff like that, and it's always they use book numbers, and it can always be dependent on your actual, the airplane, and be different from what the book is, or, you know, all kinds of different things. But this was actually pretty accurate. I was surprised. Of course, the takeaway from that is it's set up for min drag profile from the book, from the factory. That's they did all that stuff, min drag, and you may not be that way like we were today with the prop forward. So that's an important takeaway. The other one is that I thought was real interesting was trim. My nickel on the grass is once you get your airspeed set, trim the airplane out so it'll hold that airspeed, and then you don't have to spend a lot of time, a lot of brain cells trying to figure out and fly the airplane, okay? Because you got a lot of stuff to do, not stuff that you're used to doing. You got to think about that landing field. You got to think about your energy state. Am I going to make it? Am I going to fall short? Kind of like we did today. What am I going to do next? Is there another alternate, another field that I can use? If it's not on a road or an airport, do I want to use the gear? Do I want to leave it up? Do I want to land gear up or put the gear down? And my nickel on the grass on that one is that if you don't know that field is hard, if you're not landing on a road or you're not landing on an airport, my inclination is to leave the gear up and land gear up. And why is that? Well, because you got a lot of energy regardless, even if you're only doing 80 or 72 knots or whatever it is when you touch down. But if you dig in, if the gear digs in, and it will in a soft field, especially a freshly plowed one, it's going to flip over on its back. It's going to be hard to get out of the airplane. You're going to be disoriented. Who knows what can happen? If there's fuel, it could be a fire. There's all kinds of things happening. and experience shows that a gear up landing in a field does minimal damage to the airplane, and I wouldn't even worry about it. Moreover, for me, the airplane's job is, if the engine fails, its job, the rest of the airplane's job, is to get me and my passengers back on the ground in one piece. If I can make that happen and then do minimal damage to the airplane so it can fly again later, bonus points, okay? But do I care about that right now while I'm in that descent and I'm getting ready for landing? No, I don't care about that. What I care about is getting me and my passengers on the ground in one piece. That's the airplane's job, and then I can work it out with the insurance company. That's the most important thing in my opinion. Okay, so trim, because it lets you use your brain for other things besides flying. Okay, so what's that third one? Well, it's that min-drag situation. Okay, for us today, I wanted to see, the previous video we tried it out with pulling the prop all the way back. That's in my head. If I have the oil pressure, I'm going to do that. But what if you don't? What if you don't have the presence of mind? Or you don't have oil pressure enough to make that prop, give you the control over to pull it back to course. So I wanted to look at that and see what that impact was. And in reality, it's about a 50% impact in descent rate. Okay, instead of 1,000 feet per minute we got from best glide with the prop back in the previous video to 1,500, sometimes 1,600 feet per minute in this video, it's going to ruin your alternatives. Okay, you're not going to have the same alternatives. So that's one of those things you want to use your forebrain for. Try to figure out what those alternatives are. It's going to be a shorter runway, etc. So those are the big three things I think that are important to look at today. If you have any oil pressure at all, pull the prop back. Okay, and if you don't, and the engine stays windmilling, well, you have two choices. One is you can pitch up and slow down and try to get that prop stopped. That's a lot of stuff going on, and you're going to be closing to the stall, to a stall speed, and you might compound your problems. Or, so maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you just want to concentrate on finding a better spot that you can make, okay? And like I was saying in the video, I use a cone from where my eyes look through the wingtips down to the ground, and that's my reference zone for where I'm going to likely, I think I can make it with the airplane, okay? The field or whatever, I think I can make it in that kind of a cone, all right? So that's how I'm looking for a field. So we covered a lot of ground on this. My evil plan is that I'm trying to do this in a building block approach. Take a look at these different things that affect you in a flight, and then look at it overall. So the next video, we're actually, hope to get that next week, and we're going to take a look at engine failures in the takeoff phase. What do you do in the various phases of takeoff, and when can you do that dreaded turn back, things like that. So, like I said, previous video is, I think the 81 knots has affected my plan for a takeoff engine failure. We're going to look at that next video. And then we're going to put it all together into hopefully a training scenario with a willing guinea pig and see how it works out in flight. So that's the plan. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, because I enjoyed making it for you. And if you did, hit subscribe, because that really helps me out. And maybe the bell if you want to get a notification of the next time around. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on FlyWire.